Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about the basic features of the Indian Constitution. Before discussing about the basic features, we have discussed about the introduction of a constitution or definition of a constitution, needs of a constitution, the vision and the value of Indian Constitution. In the previous class, we have discussed about the Constituent Assembly, how the Constituent Assembly also prepared, and how the all section of people also joined in the Constituent Assembly, and the drafting committee also formed, and the important people also taking part in the Constituent Assembly. And the 15 female members also taking part in the Constituent Assembly. Today, we are also going to discuss the basic features. But before discussing the basic features, many features of the foreign countries also borrowed by our constitution. The good points of the from different foreign constitution, like the British Constitution, the American Constitution, and the Constitution of Canada, Ireland, and USSR, we also adopted in our constitution. And our constitution is a unique constitution. Means the chief characteristic of the Constitution of India is its uniqueness. The best features of many existing constitutions of the world were modified and adapted to our needs and conditions. Thus, the Constitution of India is a combination of many good points of several constitutions. At the same time, the needs and aspirations of the people were also not ignored. The next feature of our constitution, that is the lengthiest constitution. The Constitution of India is the lengthiest and the most detailed constitution of the world. It is divided into 22 parts and has 395 articles and 12 schedules. The Constituent Assembly spent 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days to complete its final draft on November 26, 1949. But it was adopted and enforced on January 26, 1950. Although the Constituent Assembly completed its draft on November 26, 1949, but it was adopted and enforced on January 26, 1950. There was 2 months gap, because in 1930, the Indian National Congress held its session in Lahore. There, on 26th January, the Indian Congress leader declared independence and hoisted the flag near the bank of a river Ravi and declared independent. From that year onwards, every year the Indian National Congress celebrated the Independence Day on 26th January. To remember the date of 26th January, for that cause, the 2 months also delayed. The next feature of our constitution, that is the written constitution. Indian constitution is a written constitution. It was drafted and enacted by the Constituent Assembly, specially elected for this purpose. It was presided over by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the first president of our country, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the chairman of its drafting committee. Then the next feature we are now discussing, that is the rigid and flexible constitution. Our constitution is a mixture of rigid and flexible. A constitution is called rigid or flexible on the basis of the procedure of its amendment. Amendment means the constitutional change, means any change in the constitution. A rigid constitution is one which cannot be amended easily. On the contrary, a flexible constitution can be amended easily. It means many provisions or rules should not be changed easily. That is the rigid constitution. And many provisions or rules change easily. That is the flexible constitution. Our constitution is a mixture of both rigid and flexible constitution. A flexible constitution is considered progressive in nature and helpful in development of the nation. A flexible constitution is considered progressive in nature, means whenever it is necessary, it should be changed, and to see the development of the country. Keeping this in mind, the Constitution of India is a combination of both rigid as well as flexible. It is not only a sacred document that is a framework for democratic governance, but also an instrument that may require modification. Means the Constitution not only a sacred document, but a democratic government, but also an instrument that may require modification. Whenever we require, we change or modify our constitution. Accordingly, there are three methods of amendments. These are known as the procedure of amendment of the Indian Constitution. The three methods of the amendments, procedure of amendments are: number 1, by simple majority; number 2, by special majority; number 3, special majority and ratification. Number 1, by simple majority. Certain provisions of the Constitution can easily be changed by passing the amendment bill by simple majority. It means the bill should be approved by a majority of the members present and voting in both the houses of the parliament. You know that our parliament consisting two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Means a bill should be approved and passed in the parliament by the simple majority. Means the present members, the voting should be conducted in the present members of the parliament. Then number 2, that is by special majority. The amendment bill shall have to be approved by both the houses of parliament. Absolute majority of a total membership And the second option, 2/3 majority of members present and voting. By the two ways, a bill should be passed by special majority, means absolute majority for total membership. And second, the 2/3 majority of members present and voting. Most of the provisions of our constitution are amended by this method. Then number third, special majority and ratification. After the bill is passed by special majority in both the houses of the parliament, it may be approved by the legislature for at least half of the total number of states. It means if a bill is passed by a special majority, then it should send to the states. If half of the states also passed the bill, then it should also implemented. For that cause, it may be approved by the legislature for at least half of the total number of states. Whenever the need was felt, the Indian Constitution was suitably amended according to the relevant demands to achieve national goals or to eradicate certain evil practice. Just before 1 year, in 2019 August 5, in our country, a major achievement also took place to abolish the Article 317 Jammu and Kashmir. I feel you remember the Article 317 Jammu and Kashmir. Many evil practices also abolished by our parliament, such as the abolition of a privy purse. Privy purse means the kings of the princely states who merged them with India after independence. In our country before independence, there are so many princely states. They merged after independence, but they were getting the fixed annual amount of money as a stipend. It was called privy purse. The abolition of a privy purse was a major amendment after the Indian independence. The nationalization of banks, reservation for OBC, other backward caste, right to information, RTI, right to education, reservation of seats in the local self bodies for women. Means in the panchayat, in the local government, 33% seat for women also reserved. These amendments also passed in parliament, which prove that Indian Constitution is dynamic. It is an ample proof of our commitment to transform India into a truly secular, socialist, democratic republic. Students, in the next class we will discuss about the rest of the chapter. Thank you. Have a good day.